Do you know what it feels like when someone tries to rip away the very thing that gives your life meaning? I do, and believe me, I'll never forget that feeling. It all started the day I pulled a crisp white envelope out of my mailbox. At first, I thought it was some regular notice about lawn maintenance or community updates. But when I opened it, my chest tightened. My eyes scanned the words over and over, and each line cut deeper than the last. According to my homeowners association, my beloved dogs were a nuisance, a disturbance to the peace. And I had two options: get rid of them or face fines so high they could push me out of my own home. I froze on my porch, letter trembling in my hands. My dogs, two golden retrievers with the kindest eyes and the gentlest souls, bounded over to me, tails wagging, clueless about the bombshell I had just read. They nudged my hands, licked my fingers, wanting only affection, while my stomach churned with dread. How do you explain to your best friends, your family, that some people have decided they don't belong? My heart ached, my throat went dry, and tears stung at the corners of my eyes. I sank to the porch steps, the paper crumpling in my fist, and thought, how could anyone look at these dogs and see a problem? These weren't just pets. They were my companions through every lonely night, my comfort through heartbreak, my motivation to get up every morning. They had seen me at my worst and stayed by my side when no human did. And now, someone wanted to take them away from me. No, force me to give them up. That night, I barely slept. I tossed and turned, replaying every possible scenario in my head. Should I fight back? Could I afford the fines? Would the courts even side with me? Every outcome looked grim. I pictured the worst: empty bowls by the kitchen door, their beds abandoned, their joyful faces gone. My chest ached just imagining it. But then, in the darkest hours of that night, as I sat on the floor with both dogs' warm bodies pressed against me, something shifted. I realized something powerful. The HOA didn't actually care about peace or quiet. They didn't care about barking or lawns or community rules. They cared about control. They wanted me to bend, to give in, to shrink myself down and obey. And if I gave them that satisfaction, I'd lose far more than my dogs. I'd lose my dignity. From that moment on, I made a promise. Not only would I keep my dogs, I'd make sure everyone who tried to take them away would live to regret it. The harassment didn't stop. The HOA doubled down. More letters, more threats, fines for imaginary infractions, claims that my dogs barked at all hours, even though I worked from home and knew for a fact they slept most of the day. Neighbors I once waved to started looking away. A few even made nasty comments. Maybe you should move to a farm if you want so many animals. Every word chipped at me, fueled my anger, but also hardened my resolve. And then came the breaking point. One afternoon, I came home to find a bright orange notice taped to my front door. It wasn't just another fine, it was a final warning. Either I removed the dogs permanently, or the HOA would begin proceedings to remove me. My hands shook as I tore the paper down, rage boiling inside me. I could feel my face flush, my heart hammering so hard it hurt. That was it. I wasn't just going to fight back. I was going to turn this pain into something unstoppable. I sat down at my kitchen table that night, grabbed a notebook, and started scribbling. Ideas, dreams, half-baked plans. And then it hit me. Dogs weren't my burden. They were my gift. They were my purpose. If these people thought my love for dogs made me a problem, I'd show them how wrong they were. I'd take the very thing they hated and build an entire life around it. The next few months were chaos. I picked up extra freelance jobs, sold off old belongings, cut every expense I could. Every penny went into a dream I had dared consider before, starting a dog care business. At first, it was laughable. I had nothing but a tiny savings account and 2 golden retrievers. But desperation can make you resourceful. I found a cheap, run-down lot on the edge of town, Just a bare patch of land with a rusty fence and a shed that smelled like mildew. Most people would have walked away. But I saw potential. I saw freedom. With my dogs running around me, tails wagging, I scrubbed that shed until my arms ached. I patched holes in the fence with my own hands. I borrowed old kennels from a friend. When it was barely decent, I painted a sign by hand. Affordable dog sitting. All breeds welcome. I posted flyers at grocery stores, left business cards at vets' offices, even stopped strangers at the park to hand them my number. And then, I waited. The first week, nothing. I sat alone on that lot, my dogs snoozing at my feet, wondering if I had made the biggest mistake of my life. But then, on a sunny Saturday morning, a minivan pulled up. A tired-looking mom with 3 kids in the back seat stepped out, clutching a leash. She had a nervous terrier who clearly needed more care than she could give. I welcomed her in, treated her dog like he was royalty, and by the time she came back that afternoon, she was smiling. She handed me cash and said, "You'll be seeing us again." That was the spark. Word spread faster than I ever imagined. That mom told her sister. Her sister told her co-workers. Within weeks, I had a handful of regulars. I ran myself ragged, feeding, cleaning, walking, playing, but I loved every exhausting second. For the first time in months, I wasn't a victim of the HOA's cruelty. I was building something they could never take from me. By the end of the first year, I expanded. I saved every dime, bought better kennels, built a small indoor play area. I hired a part-time helper. My little dog-sitting lot became a place people trusted. I offered training, grooming, even puppy play dates. It became more than a business. It became a community. And, oh, the sweet, sweet irony. Because soon enough I started seeing familiar faces. HOA members. The same people who had called my dogs a nuisance were now sheepishly walking through my doors, asking me to watch their pets. I'll never forget the look on Mrs. Patterson's face, the woman who had led the charge to get rid of those dogs. She stood there, clutching her poodle's leash, forcing a smile, asking if I had room. I smiled back, professional as ever, but inside, I was laughing. Not cruelly, not bitterly, just triumphantly. Because life had come full circle. By year 3, my business was the largest dog center in town. We had a waiting list. We hosted dog birthday parties, adoption events, training workshops. People drove in from other towns just to be part of what we built. My staff grew, my income tripled, and my dogs? They were right there through it all, tails wagging, living the best lives possible. Every time I walked into that bustling center, the sound of barking, laughter, happy chaos, I thought back to that first HOA letter, the one that tried to break me, and I couldn't help but smile, because without their cruelty, I might never have found this path. Sometimes revenge doesn't come in the form of slamming a door in someone's face. Sometimes it comes in the form of success so undeniable that even your enemies have to acknowledge it. And the sweetest part of all, they now pay me to do the very thing they once tried to take away. So if anyone ever tells you that what you love is worthless, prove them wrong. Let their doubt become your fire. Because one day, they might just find themselves standing in line, wallet in hand, supporting the dream they once tried to destroy. And when that day comes, trust me, the victory will taste better than anything you could have imagined.